Welcome to Dark Stories, where shadows whisper and secrets awaken. If you're brave enough to face the unknown, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it. Your support keeps our channel alive. Now, turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and prepare to descend into the alleys of ancient Rome. In the narrow streets of ancient Rome, where history dances with legends, 18-year-old Mariana received a strange gift from her boyfriend, a psychedelic archaeologist whose eyes conceal secrets. A black onyx amulet, engraved with symbols that do not exist in any known language. That night, as the sun set under a hazy sky, Mariana heard a faint, low, and persistent humming, accompanied by terrifying murmurs. No one around her heard her. And in the darkness, Mariana felt something watching her. A creature of fire and smoke, its eyes glowing like burning embers. That evening, she tried to sleep, but she couldn't. The next day, she went to her close friend, Lila. They searched for answers in a forgotten library deep in the city. There, hidden in a cracked leather volume, they discovered a terrifying legend. A genie had been trapped inside the amulet for centuries, bound by a curse, thirsty for salvation. And the only way to destroy it? A ritual performed under the moonlight, in the heart of the Sahara Desert. Armed with an iron key, a protective charm from Kamessa, and with the courage that only despair can bring, she traveled to the ancient site where the amulet had first been found. The desert wind howled, the sky bled with moonlight. Mariana entered a circle of protective symbols drawn in salt and ash. She repeated words from the book, and then the djinn appeared, a twisted form, a nightmare of smoke, fire, and fury. It tried to attack her but crashed into the barrier, sparks flying. But Mariana held on, whispering the ancient words. The amulet began to glow. The djinn screamed, a voice echoing across the sand dunes, until it retreated into the sand and sank underground, the amulet glowing and dust spreading like wildfire. This time, Mariana survived, but she was no longer the same girl. She faced the shadows and found her strength. Can she defeat the creature alone or ask for help? It had passed since Mariana had destroyed the cursed amulet. The nightmares had stopped. The murmuring had faded. But one night, on a full moon, the whispers returned. This time, they didn't come from the shadows, but from within her. The nightmares had returned. Mariana woke up screaming, her hand burned with burns, in the shape of the same symbol engraved on the amulet. It wasn't her this time. It was her best friend. Yes, it was Lila. Lila wasn't the same. She spoke less. She hadn't felt well since that day. Her eyes seemed far away. She couldn't sleep. One evening, Mariana found her muttering an ancient language standing barefoot in the garden, her shadow writhing in the wrong direction. The curse hadn't really ended. She had transformed. She had moved into something or someone else. Lila had been with Mariana that day, but without protection. She was an easy target for demonic possession. Mariana searched through her friend's hidden diary. She discovered that the amulet was one of 7. Each one was made of blood. Each one bound a different entity. The next one she discovered was buried in a vault beneath an abandoned Roman bathhouse, forgotten beneath the sands south of Kairouan. With no choice, she returned to the desert. She would not leave her friend. The bathhouse was in ruins, swallowed by time. Up underground, a heavy iron door awaited, sealed with wax, scripture, and demonic symbols. As Mariana and Lila drew near, the air grew thicker, and the buzzing returned, now louder. Not in her ears, but in her bones. Lila followed, drawn by the darkness within. She wasn't herself. Something inside her was controlling her, and that something inside her wanted to open the vault. The door swung open. A gust of ancient air wafted like a death rattle. Symbols lit up the walls, glowing red, pulsing like a heartbeat. From the hole, something crawled, not smoke, not fire, but mud, bone, and ice. One broken, it whispered into Layla's mouth, 6 to go. Layla cried out as she collapsed, but not before she pressed a second amulet into Mariana's hand. Her eyes were now completely black. The curse had evolved. Mariana was no longer fighting a single genie. She had disturbed an ancient network of bound entities. The question now wasn't how to stop her, but how deep the curse truly reached. If you thought you'd seen the worst, you haven't. Admire, share, and participate so the darkness may live on. Now let the desert open its gates. The desert winds changed. The nights grew hotter and heavier, as if the very air was warning her. Mariana now carried 2 amulets, and with each one, the whispers grew louder within her. They spoke of a place older than the desert itself, a portal buried in the heart of the sand dunes, where all 7 creatures were imprisoned. The first genie, the smoke and fire, returned in her dreams, bound but laughing in a wicked, sinister way. She spoke of the others, clay, bone, ash, iron, and salt, and snow. They were waking up and preparing to attack. One of them had already been freed, hiding inside someone she loved. Who was it? Yes, as you might have guessed, it was Layla. Layla's condition worsened. Her eyes had changed, becoming black, and her teeth looked like monsters. She had no sleep, no food, and was seeing visions of beings no one else could see. Her skin had turned pale, and her voice had cracked into 2 tones, one human, the other ancient. She spoke in a strange language no one understood. She smiled terrifyingly. She drew strange symbols on the wall and a map of a place no human had ever reached before. Some nights, she didn't sleep. She stands by the window for hours, staring out at the sand dunes. She sees strange creatures trapped behind a buried gate. Something inside her wants to open the gate, to free these creatures and take revenge on humans. And it will use Layla's body to ensure that happens. Following the map hidden in her friend's last diary, Mariana arrives in the heart of the desert. It's the same place she sees in her dreams, and the one Lila drew on the wall. There, a gate half buried in the shifting sand. No one who tries to reach it will survive. A black stone arch stands, engraved with demonic symbols. Surrounding it are 7 columns, one of which is in ruins. Between the columns, pitch darkness, insurmountable, not a void, but a wall of moving shadows like a living veil. Possessed Layla entered the circle with Mariana. Each of them carried a key to protect against the evil amulets. The wind howled, the earth trembled, and the sky filled with mist. The 6 remaining amulets began to glow. Their shapes appeared in the air above the gate. The living veil rippled and gradually faded, and something began to surge from the ground. Yes, it was the half-buried gate. The air was filled with the smell of burning flesh and wet earth. Not only that, it smelled of death. Ancient voices cried out in dozens of forgotten tongues. Mariana realized the truth that made her mind freeze and her heart tremble. The only way to close the gate was with a human sacrifice. Her soul, or Layla's, and no other solution appeared before them. Her tears streamed as she advanced, her love for her friend preventing her from offering her to death. But Layla, struggling for a last moment of control, whispered, "No, let them win." Before Mariana could stop her, Layla threw herself into the portal. But Mariana managed to grab Layla's hand, and together they entered the portal. And surely the weapon of love triumphed over evil. And so it was. The shadows swallowed them deep into the sand. The portal closed, and they were buried within the sand. The desert fell silent. An unusual silence. Not even the sound of the wind was heard. Mariana and Layla fell inside the portal, the amulets now cold and lifeless. But as dawn broke over the sand dunes, the portal rose again, and Mariana and Layla emerged. Each of them carried 3 amulets engraved on their bodies. The battle was over, but the war had only just begun. If you thought this was just a story, think again. Somewhere a mysterious amulet lurks among us, a creature whose plot against us no one knows. These are dark stories, and the darkness is endless.